Hey everyone, welcome back to the Dangers and Dragons podcast. I'm Adrian, your host, and get ready for a story that's going to grab you from the first word and just keep you on the edge of your seat till the very last. If you guys love these daily doses of D&D, remember to rate and follow us so you never miss an episode. Okay, so let's set the scene. Imagine the Phoenix Festival, a celebration of renewal and hope. Think music, laughter, the smell of spiced apples roasting over open fires.
Yeah, this contrast is really important to understanding the conflict in the story. You have the people celebrating this phoenix and all that it represents rebirth magic. And then on the other hand, you have this Order of the Iron Hand,
Right.
who view magic as something to be controlled and dominated.
Exactly. And right in the middle of all of this, we have our protagonist who is a teenager who feels a strange connection to this phoenix and actually even bears a mark of the phoenix that seems to glow
Mm.
with this intensity that sets them apart.
Yeah, that marking is really interesting. It could symbolize a deeper connection to the phoenix, perhaps even a destiny that they're meant to fulfill.
Oh, things are about to get real. Just as the festival is reaching its peak, the sky is ripped open. Not by the majestic flames of the phoenix, but by the cold, metallic hulls of the Order's attack ships.
Wow, what a stark contrast. This really throws the celebratory mood into sharp relief. You have this vibrant celebration, and then boom, these menacing ships arrive.
Yeah, the festive atmosphere totally vanishes as these ships descend and the crowd reacts with shock and fear. Then just when you think things can't get any more dramatic, the legendary phoenix bursts into life. Not some gentle ethereal creature, but this towering inferno,
Yeah.
a pillar of fire, swirling fire that fills the air with his song of rebirth. Now you'd think everyone would be in awe of this, right? But the Order, they see the phoenix not as this marvel, but as a source of power, something to exploit and control.
It's like this complete difference in perception, which highlights the fundamental divide between those who revere something for its inherent power and beauty, and those who just want to dominate and control it.
And their desire for control takes a very dangerous turn. The Order launches an attack, firing these harpoons that are imbued with dark magic towards the phoenix.
It's not just weapons, it's symbolic, right? They want to subdue something that is wild and free, impose their will upon it.
Right. And our protagonist is caught right in the crossfire. Remember that phoenix mark? Well, it seems to have made them a target. One of those harpoons is heading straight for them. But just when all hope seems lost, the phoenix swoops down, shielding the protagonist from that magical harpoon, taking the hit directly, sacrificing itself to protect this seemingly ordinary teenager.
This act of self-sacrifice is just incredible. The phoenix, a creature often associated with destruction and rebirth, becomes a protector,
Yeah.
a guardian willing to lay down its life. It challenges everything we think we know about the phoenix.
And as our protagonist looks into the phoenix's burning eyes, they see a choice reflected back at them, a path they never would have considered before. The festival square, once a place of celebration, transforms into a battleground where they are forced to take a stand.
This is that turning point.
Yeah.
They're no longer just watching these events unfold. They're being called upon to play a role, to choose a side, to fight for what they believe in.
And they have something more powerful than any weapon. The phoenix's song, a desperate plea for sanctuary echoing within them. In a moment of pure courage, our protagonist raises their hand, the phoenix symbol on their wrist blazing with light, and cries out, "Sanctuary!" Not a command, but an echo of the phoenix's own plea. A beacon of defiance against the Order's tyranny. And that cry, that raw expression of hope, spreads through the crowd like wildfire.
This is where it becomes much bigger than just one person. It's about the power of one person's courage to inspire others. That cry for sanctuary is a call to action, a reminder that even when things seem impossible, we have the power to choose hope over fear.
And that choice, that collective act of defiance, is about to change everything. Welcome back to the Dangers and Dragons podcast. It's amazing how that single cry for sanctuary just transformed the entire atmosphere of the festival.
It really shows you the power of a symbol to unite people. That moment taps into something deep within us, that need for hope and resilience.
Right. And that cry wasn't just about protecting the phoenix. It was about defending a way of life, a belief in a world where magic and wonder aren't something to fear, but something to celebrate.
This is where the story gets even more interesting. It becomes about so much more than a battle between good and evil. It's about the clash between those who want to control everything and those who fight for freedom.
And that fight takes on a whole new dimension as that phoenix, wounded but still defiant, makes a breathtaking decision.
Yeah, instead of fighting back, the phoenix flies up into the sky and scatters embers of itself onto the people below. It's a moment that is both tragic and beautiful.
Yeah, like the phoenix is saying, my physical form might be gone, but my spirit will live on in each of you.
And those embers aren't just symbolic. They're the phoenix's legacy, a tangible reminder of its power. They land on the crowd, a final gift from a creature that chose to give rather than take.
And that gift ignites something amazing within the people. It's not about gaining magical powers. It's about awakening that potential for courage and resilience that's within all of us.
The phoenix's sacrifice becomes a catalyst for transformation. You see the farmer who shielded a child during the attack, finding the strength to become a leader.
It's incredible how these ordinary people step up and become heroes. They realize they don't need superpowers to make a difference. They just need the courage to act.
Exactly. It reminds us that heroism isn't about having special abilities. It's about finding that strength within ourselves to stand up for what's right and to fight for a better world.
And that's exactly what they do. They start to rebuild their community, not just physically, but also spiritually. The festival square becomes a symbol of their resilience, a testament to their unwavering spirit.
They've woven the memory of the phoenix into every aspect of their lives. It shows how a shared experience, even a traumatic one, can bring people together and inspire change.
And that change doesn't stop at their community's borders. As they rebuild, they share their story, spreading the message of the phoenix and the power of unity.
Now the story's impact starts to grow. It becomes a beacon of hope for others who are facing their own struggles against oppression.
Right. It's like planting seeds of rebellion, encouraging others to question authority and to look inside themselves for their own courage.
It's a crucial point. The story tells us that even when things are tough, we're never truly alone. There are always others who are fighting for the same things.
It's about finding strength in numbers, knowing that even small actions can make a big difference.
The phoenix's story reminds us that every act of courage, every voice that speaks out against injustice, contributes to a larger movement for change.
And that movement is only just beginning. Welcome back to the Dangers and Dragons podcast for the final part of our Phoenix story. It's amazing how the Phoenix's sacrifice really started a movement that's changing the whole world.
It's incredible, right? How that story went from a local legend to a symbol of resistance that people everywhere have embraced. It just shows you how powerful stories can be.
Yeah, the tale of the Phoenix and those everyday people who stood up to the order. It speaks to anyone who's ever felt oppressed or wanted a better world.
And that desire for change is what really drives this movement. People hear the story and it's like a light bulb goes off. They realize that if those ordinary folks could do it, maybe they can too.
Right. It's as if those embers from the Phoenix have spread everywhere, igniting little pockets of resistance in the most unexpected places.
Exactly. People start to question things. They demand more from their leaders, and they support those who are fighting for a just world.
Those ripples of change, they're really changing everything.
Yeah.
Remember how those embers weren't just a metaphor? They represented real changes in how people live their lives.
Yeah, it's like the phoenix's sacrifice unlocks something within them, giving them the power to use their everyday skills to make a better world.
Exactly. Like that farmer who protected the child during the attack. He didn't just become a leader in his own community. He started teaching others how to organize and resist oppression in their own areas.
And the musician whose flute became a spear? Her self-defense classes turned into workshops about empowerment and community building.
It's amazing to see how these everyday heroes, inspired by the Phoenix, are making a difference.
They show us what the phoenix's true legacy is. It's not about magic powers. It's about courage, compassion, and believing that we can overcome anything.
And that's way more powerful than any weapon.
It's a legacy that will keep inspiring people for generations to come. It reminds us that even in the darkest times, hope can always come back.
That's a powerful message to end on. And even though our story is over, that Phoenix's flame is still alive in all of us.
So the question is, what will you do with your ember?
That's something for all of us to think about. And if you're feeling inspired, share your thoughts with us on social media. We'd love to hear from you. And before we go, don't forget to rate and follow the Dangers and Dragons podcast for more epic stories. We'll be back tomorrow with another incredible adventure. Until then, stay legendary